As our weather gets colder, other things in the world are heating up. It's time to be prepared for whatever might happen in 2026. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Welcome to the channel. We are getting ready to leave 2025 behind us and move into 2026 in a world that gets less stable and less secure every day. You don't have to be a geopolitical expert to see things shifting globally, whether that's food and fuel instability in parts of the world or political tension that can ripple back to us. There's a lot we can't control. The one thing we can control is how well prepared we are to take care of ourselves no matter what happens. I'm reminded we don't usually get a lot of warning when something's about to happen. And when we do get a hint of warning, we never know how things will play out. So it's only smart to be prepared for anything. A good prepper pantry should flow into your working pantry and give you a cushion to get you by for a week, a month, 6 months, if something should happen. And if nothing happens, that prepper pantry just keeps flowing into your working pantry. You keep building, improving, and restocking. No panic, no hassle, no big deal. Just a feeling of security knowing you have sufficient food and supplies to take you through anything from a hurricane to a lockdown to a job loss. Like I've mentioned before, it's the perfect time of year to make sure that we're not only prepared ourselves, but that our loved ones are as well. Many of the items in today's haul were bought with that sentiment in mind. Let's jump in and see what we've added to our preps and prepper pantry lately. After I show you the new additions, I'll test and taste some new items and give my honest reviews. All right, I'm going to start right over here with this stuff. So the first thing I've got here is this 5-in-1 survival whistle. I love things that are multi-purpose and have multiple uses. And this was dirt cheap on clearance. So I grabbed it and kind of wish I'd grabbed more. I'm going to open it up and show you what it does. So of course it's got the whistle here, which is really important to have if you need to be found in lots of different situations. On the top here, it's got a compass. And if you open this up, it has... This is what I really liked also. This is a gasketed seal, so this is like a watertight compartment. You could store matches in here. You could store tinder. You could store anything in here. And then there's a signaling mirror on the inside as well. And then, of course, there's also a flint for starting fires here on the side. And it's got a string that you can use it to attach or to carry. I think I would probably attach something a little bit different, either to the string or to the loop. But I thought this was really awesome. For the price, it was a great deal. And this will make a really wonderful stocking stuffer or an addition to a survival themed gift. Next, I got this magnesium fire starter. Pretty self-explanatory, but these are great to have to stash in bug out bags. This is going to make a great stocking stuffer. And this was on the same site with the survival whistle, so it was also a really good deal on clearance. I will put a link to these down below because I do think they have some of these things left still on clearance. Next, a water straw. This is really, really important to have, some way to filter water. And these little straws are about the size of like a Sharpie marker. So you can see they are perfect to put just about everywhere. You just take the lid off and it's got the mouthpiece that you would drink through, and you can just drink right out of any contaminated water source. And these are really great to use as stocking stuffers as well, because everyone should have one of these in their vehicle, lots of different places in your bug out bag, because it takes up no space. It's very light and it could really save your life. So these are a great thing to have. I have a link down below where you can get a really good deal if you buy them in bulk. And that's, like I said, it's a really great gift for a lot of different people. Everyone in your family should have one. So these are a great item. Next, I've got a few freeze-dried items, and these are different. These are something that I have never had before. So you've probably maybe never seen them unless you are a hunter and have a freeze dryer. So these are freeze-dried, fully cooked ground meat. I've got elk here and I've got venison. So sometimes these kind of meats can actually be a lot healthier than beef and things like that. And it's just something different. And I love having ground meat. I use a lot of ground meat in recipes for meals in a jar. I thought this would be a really cool thing to have on hand and to try in my meals in a jar. This company sources only food that is grown, raised, harvested, processed, everything in the USA and freeze-dried in the USA. And I know that's really important to a lot of people. So if that is something that's really important to you, you're definitely going to want to check out this food. You can go to tryfreezedried.com and check it out. And if there's any current promotions or coupons or anything going on, I will have those on there. But we always have a coupon code going on. It's Wicked Prepared. And anytime there's no other deal, you can use that for 15% off. Now, I know a lot of people are used to seeing commercial freeze-dried food in cans, number 10 cans usually. And for a long time, I was too, although when we freeze dry our own, we do package some of it in Mylar bags like this. But as I started sourcing food from many different places and kind of trying many more sources of freeze-dried food, I really came to appreciate the benefits of food that is packed in bags like this. Number one, if you've ever ordered cans of freeze-dried food, you've probably gotten dented cans and had to deal with that. You will never have a dented can with this, obviously. And not only that, but the food, you can tell it is packed pretty tightly in here. There's not a lot of airspace. So there's not a lot of wasted space, number one, like there can be in a can. If you're storing that whole can and the top, inch, 2 inches is just air, you're also storing nothing. You're using some of your storage space for nothing. These are completely, you're not really storing any extra air. They pack together in a container or something just like bricks. They really pack well together. You would see if you ever order this food, it comes completely laid in the box, really securely, just like laying bricks. And the other thing is because there's not airspace in here, the food does not move around inside the package, so you don't see damage to the food like you do with food in cans. So I really started to appreciate freeze-dried food in bags like these. Now, these Mylar bags are meant for long-term storage, so this window here is actually part of the bag. It's not a separate window. They just didn't apply the color between the layers on this part, so you can see the food that's in here. There's no seam. It's 100% just as air and moisture tight as the rest of the bag. It's one complete bag. So that's something that a lot of people get confused about. But freeze-dried food is really the way to go when it comes to your long-term prepper pantry. It's got a really long shelf life, usually up to 30 years, depending on how it's stored. And it also maintains a lot of the quality of the fresh product and the shape, the size, the taste, and also the nutrition of the fresh product. So it is a great way to go. Next, I've got some more freeze-dried items. Now, these are kind of fun items. So these are they're more like snack items. They're not necessarily intended for long-term storage. These, in my mind, are like great stocking stuffers. They are shelf-stable, obviously. You couldn't have strawberries and cream puffs just sitting on your shelf for a year without going moldy. But these are shelf-stable, but they're not intended for long-term storage. They're intended for fun and snacking. But these two looked so delicious to me. Cream puffs, chocolate-covered cream puffs, which I love, fresh or frozen. So I cannot wait to see how these are. And then the other one, this is chocolate-covered strawberries or chocolate-drizzled strawberries. I cannot wait to try these. These are going to be awesome little snacks to have. I've also got, this is a number 10 can, so this is what I'm talking about. I did get this in there. I got no dents, and I have not had any issues so far with anything from this company coming dented. This is freeze-dried garlic, and this is the number 10 can. So this is like a gallon size can of freeze-dried garlic. The thing about freeze-dried food, though, is not only is it shelf-stable for 25 to 30 years before it's opened, but it also stays good after it's opened. It's not like the fresh food. It's not going to mold or go bad really quickly. So I definitely will be able to use this. We love freeze-dried garlic. It has so much more of a fresh garlic flavor than like garlic powder or jarred garlic. So much better. I like to throw it in so many things, and I use it in my meals in a jar. And it's just so easy to just take a scoop of the freeze-dried garlic and throw it in anytime you're sauteing veggies, meat, any place you would want garlic, spaghetti sauces, anything. Because as much as I love garlic, I really hate dealing with chopping or mincing or squeezing or pressing my fresh garlic. It's just such a messy process, and it just makes my hands smell. And so I would much rather use this. And it's shelf stable for the long term. I bought this because it was on sale. I do not think it's on sale anymore, but they have a whole another bunch of stuff that's on sale. They have a December special pack going on right now. If you're watching this video, in the first few days that it's come out. And the December pack includes a brand new product that they've just brought out, which is freeze-dried cheddar cheese. And you can get it in a bundle with powdered milk and powdered butter for a really good price. If you want to stay up to date on the latest sales, coupon codes, and all things like that, then you can join my text alert system by texting alert to my number that I will put on the screen, and I will add you to my list and send you the really good deals that I see. I try to text no more than 2 to 3 times a month usually for that list. So if you are a diehard bargain hunter and you don't want to miss a deal, and you are able to just ignore a message that you get if you're not interested, you can join my insiders list by texting insider to the same number. I may text 2 to 3 times a week or so on that number when there's a lot of good deals going on. Down here, I've got this cool little thing, stove in a can. I had never seen this before. I don't know if you can tell how the size of this. It's about the size of my palm of my hand. It's bigger than I thought it was from looking at it online, but it's really, really cool. So this is all contained in almost like a short paint can. So it's going to be like watertight, waterproof. It has fuel in it that will burn, but it's not something that's going to, you have to worry about it exploding or, catching fire. So this is extreme works in extreme weather conditions, waterproof, windproof, can boil water in less than 5 minutes, compact and portable. Fuel is safe and non-explosive. It's just really, really a cool item that I had never, ever seen before. And once again, this was on clearance. So it was like 67% off. So I did grab one to try. And like I said, I think there are more left. So I will put a link to this down below. Of course, back here, just these big old packs of toilet paper. This is one of the best deals, probably the best deal I ever find on toilet paper. So look for this if you need to stock up. You always want to have, we try to keep about at least 6 months of toilet paper on hand because you never know when it might become hard to find. Next, I've got this Mountain House pouch meal. So this is a freeze-dried meal. This has got like a 30-year shelf life, as you can see. And these are the kind of meals where you just add boiling water, you just let it set, and you've got an instant meal. So they're great to have on hand for emergencies, but they are also good for travel. We have used these traveling to save money. In hotel rooms, stuck in airports, things like that. It always saves us money. Of course, you can use them camping or hiking. They were originally meant for backpacking. I think this is a new flavor. It's a cheesy pepperoni pizza bowl. I've never seen this one before, and this was on clearance also. And they actually had a bunch more flavors and varieties that were on clearance. So I will link to those down below in case there's any left and you want to grab them. These are great to keep in your car, in your bug out bag, just in your home for preparedness. If you ever have the power out and you just need to have a warm meal, just throwing some, heating some water on your emergency stove and then throwing it in here, you'll have a nice hot meal. And Mountain House are usually really pretty good. These are among the probably top 3 brands of the ones that we've tried, and we've tried a lot. So these are usually pretty tasty. Another freeze-dried snacky item. So this is cheddar cheese. Now this is a nice sturdy pouch. These are going to have a pretty decent shelf life. I think they're only labeled for like 2 years. But honestly, you don't need to have a really long shelf life because you should be rotating your food. So I love freeze-dried cheddar cheese. This is in cubes, not shredded. So shredded is great for recipes and you can snack on it too. But this is a really good high protein, low carb snack. And because it is shelf stable, you can keep it, in your purse or anywhere you can take it traveling with you. It's really, really great to have. Now, this company is not producing in the US. This is actually a company in Portugal. We have worked with this company for a while and tried some of their stuff. It's good quality, and the standards that they have over there in Portugal are actually really, really high. So I'm not concerned about eating food that was prepared in Portugal. And I think the shipping actually is not too bad or too slow, considering the fact that it's actually coming from overseas. Next, an emergency sleeping bag. So these are really, really important to have. Once again, this is a pretty inexpensive item. I will have a link down below where you can get a really good deal if you buy them in bulk, which is a good idea because you should have something like this in every vehicle. Every member of your family should have one. It's similar to an emergency blanket that's made with that foilish mylar material, but instead of being just a flat sheet that you would have to try to wrap around yourself, you can actually get inside of a emergency sleeping bag. It's not going to keep you cozy and snuggly, but it will keep you alive. It will reflect your body heat and keep you from freezing to death, which can be really, really important. So this is another great stocking stuffer idea, or if you're putting together a kit for somebody to keep in their car. These should be in anybody's car. I know we always think it won't happen to us, but it does happen all the time that people get stranded and, you could freeze to death. So these are a really good item to have. Another good car item is this right here. Now, this is a gift. These make really good gifts. I have had one of these for years. This is a Halo Bolt Air, but it's like a 2.0 version, I think. So what this has is it's a big battery, basically. In this bag, it comes with little mini jumper cables. They don't need to be long because you can put the battery right up to where you need it. So these hook into this and you can start your battery. If your car is dead. It also has the air hose, so you can fill your tires if you need to. So this is amazing. It has, I don't know if it's charged. Oh, yes, it is. It has a light and an emergency light also. And one thing that makes this different, what makes this the 2.0, they usually do have some kind of chargers for like cell phones, any type of device like that, a USB charger. But this one actually also has this type of an outlet that you could plug a laptop into, or really anything if you needed some power. And these hold a really good amount of power. So this is a really, really good item to keep in your car. I don't like to rely on a stranger if my battery dies. I certainly don't want my kids to have to rely on a stranger if their battery dies. I will say keep the instructions with it and read the instructions, because I have had issues trying to use it and then read the instructions and realized I was making a mistake. So this one, like I said, it comes with your jumper cables. It comes with a charging cable. And this one actually also comes with some extra tips for that air nozzle. I don't know if they all come with that, but this one does. This one does come with a storage bag, but you can also buy like a more hard shell type of zipper case for it, which I have done for mine, and I will probably get one for this as well. Like I said, this is for a gift. Next, I've got a couple bags of my high protein, low carb brownie mix. This stuff is really, really good. I have tried it before. It is gluten-free if you have to be gluten-free, but it's also low in carbs, no added sugar, high in fiber, high in protein. Really awesome. This is a bulk bag. It makes multiple batches of mix. And I was really impressed with the flavor and texture. I did not expect to like it, to be honest, but you know, I try to eat low carbs, low sugar, and high protein. So I thought it would be a good thing to have. And I actually ended up liking it more than I thought that I would. Like a lot of other things that I get from this store, I buy usually a 2 or 3 pack, whatever they have available. That gives a savings, because I just like to get a savings wherever I can. And something like this will stay good long enough for me to use them up. And it's just going to save me money in the long run. And then back here, before I forget about this, so this is a Hot Pocket. And it's basically, it looks kind of like a mini sleeping bag. But what it actually is it's the same type of material like a sleeping bag. It's basically like a stuff sack or a compression sack, but it's also heated. So this is so multi-purpose. I was kind of blown away when I thought about all the ways this could be used. You could put your sleeping bag or your blanket inside of it and heat it before you use it. You could put your socks, your clothes, your pajamas, your mittens, your hat, anything like that inside of this and heat it. It's basically like a heated jacket. It has a place that the battery pack goes, and then it has a thing to turn it on, a button. So it will heat anything that's put inside of it, but it also can unzip and open up. I can't do it very well one-handed, but it opens up into a flat, like almost like a mini heated blanket. So this would be something you could use as a lap blanket. You could use it as a seat cover. You could use it as a lot of different things. And while it is zipped up, a couple other things I forgot, you could put your feet inside of this to have like a foot warmer. You could put your hands inside of it to have a hand warmer. It's light, it's, soft, and it's totally portable. I thought this was totally fantastic when I really thought about all the things you could do. In fact, I just thought of something else. I don't know, haven't tried it, don't know if this would work, but I don't see why it wouldn't. I have a friend who would take meals kind of like this and just put water in and hold them close to her body to heat them up. So I have a feeling you could put meals like this in here to warm them up perhaps. But if you are camping, if you are stranded in your vehicle, if you're at an outdoor sporting event, this would be a great thing to have. If you're having like a day at the ski lodge with your kids and you just want to be able to put people's mittens and hats and stuff and warm them up, this would be great to have in your vehicle. Like you could put your blanket that you store in your vehicle, which we all should have for emergencies. And my blanket in my vehicle, I actually use a lot more often than just emergencies. But you could put it inside of here as a place to store it, because it does work as a compression sack. It has clips that you can clip it together and compress it down. So you could use this to protect the blanket and keep it all together. And then if you did get stranded, you could use it to heat the blanket, get yourself warm, use it to heat your hands or your feet. Lots of different things. This, you can actually, I believe, get backpack straps that you can add onto this, so it could become a little day pack. So it has multiple uses, which I absolutely love. And this is also a great gift item. One more thing I forgot to mention back here with the toilet paper, just a big box of flushable wipes. This is also the cheapest way I've found to buy these usually. This can be a stand-in for toilet paper. In addition to toilet paper, it can be used to clean up anything, your hands, messes. They're pretty, not very harsh, and they're hypoallergenic because, they're meant for your tush. So good thing to have in addition to toilet paper. This was something I discovered. I think it's new. I'd never seen this before. This is a high protein cup of noodles. So a lot of people keep some cup of noodles on hand. This is an inexpensive, quick and easy meal that you can have that you just have to add boiling water to. So to add protein and bone broth into it, I think is really great. We always want more protein in our prepper pantry. And even if it's just like your teenager wants to have a cup of noodles, to get a little extra protein in them would be great. So depending on how this tastes, I'm thinking this is going to be something pretty exciting to have on hand. I mean, it's still ramen. It's not exactly going to be health food, but it can be a little bit better. And you can always throw in some little bit of freeze-dried extra veggies, meats, things like that, and make these really yummy. You could put in ramen toppings like ramen bay. Those are really, really awesome to have and can make something like this a lot more special. Couple more freeze-dried items. I've got some freeze-dried ice creams here. Freeze-dried ice cream is delicious and it is a lot of fun. Once again, not necessarily a long-term storage thing, but it will store for several years, and it's always good to have some sweets and treats in your prepper pantry. It's just important, but these can also be gifts, stocking stuffers, holiday things. Kids think these are so fun, having ice cream that doesn't melt, and these are so good. So as stocking stuffers, and this company has like 30 or 40 something flavors of freeze-dried ice cream. It's incredible. I will put the link down below so that you can go check out everything that they have. And they've got a ton of fun and just different type of stuff that you don't see every day. Here I've got a few cans of these Le Sueur peas. Like, I don't usually buy these because they're more expensive, I believe. I was aware of them, but there's a girl on Facebook that I watch her recipes sometimes. And she was showing a recipe for cheese peas. And I thought it looked interesting, like something I would want to try. I love trying new things, just a side dish. She said that these are the best peas to use for it. So I'm like, I'll pick up a few cans to try the recipe with what she recommends. But I also found that not only do they have this very young, small, sweet peas, they have peas with mushrooms and pearl onions, which I think would be amazing for like special occasions, side dishes for special occasions. I don't know about the mushrooms. I love mushrooms, but some of my kids might not like that. I don't know how big the pieces are. We shall find out. And they also had canned baby carrots, whole baby carrots. I had never seen anything like that before. These came right from my Walmart. I guess I just never look around for this stuff. So I'm excited to try a few things and recipes with those. These Reese items here, well, let's see. We'll start with this. This is an immune boosting supplement. So this is Activate Immune. It's something that we like to have on hand all the time. This is a complete immune complex. So it has not only just vitamin C, but it's got your A, C, D, zinc, quercetin, all kinds of stuff. And it's a really, really, really good immune boosting thing. Immunity is really important this time of year, and it's very important for preparedness to make sure your immune system is firing on all cylinders, because you definitely don't want to get sick if there's an emergency and you can't get medical care. So this is really great, and they have this technology that makes the minerals more absorbable to your body, because with a lot of supplements, it just goes through you and it's just such a waste of money. So I would definitely prefer to get something that I know works and I know the science behind it. Next to these Reese items, so these were all Ibotta deals. If you have never used Ibotta, it's a rebate app. Like, I think couponing is moving away from clipping paper coupons and moving a lot more towards digital, more modern things. And couponing and deals like that really helped me in the very beginning build my prepper pantry for very little money. And so I still try to keep up on it when I can. I'll put a link to Ibotta down below. I think if you use that link, you might get a few dollars added to your account when you turn in your first rebate, but it's really easy to use. I have saved thousands of dollars since I've been using it, and it's just, they have freebies a lot of the time. It's a really great app. I know a lot of you already use it, but there were rebates for these Reese items, and these are all things that I use. And with the rebates, it made these cheaper. Like, it made these cheaper than the store brand. It made these cheaper than the ones I usually buy at BJ's, which is kind of like Costco. And it was a good price on these. And I use all of these things in recipes. I use them quite a bit. And I know, being canned and jarred, I know that they stay good for a very long time. So anytime I see this deal come around, I always grab it because it comes around occasionally. And Ibotta also has bonuses, and so you can get extra money in your account just for doing a certain number of rebates. And I did each of these rebates 5 times, and right now there's a bonus for $5 extra when you do 12 rebates, and these rebates are back. So if I do these again and do them at least 12 times, I would automatically get that $5 without even spending any extra. So it's really awesome. But I use these in a chicken crescent wreath that I make at Christmas time. That's really nice. I use this in a artichoke crab meat dip that I make at Christmas time. That is really delicious. And I use all of these things a lot. I love artichokes and I like these water chestnuts. Back here, I've got just some rice-a-roni, just a simple Prepper Pantry little item. Of course, you can make your own rice-a-roni. I'll probably have a video on that coming up. But I also sometimes just like to buy things. I made rice-a-roni the other day as like a little quick, easy side dish with a dinner, and I made chicken flavor. And my daughter said, "Why is this not cheesy?" I guess I hadn't made rice-a-roni in quite a while. And apparently, I used to always make cheesy rice-a-roni. That was what they remembered. And I didn't even have any. I have a ton of different flavors, but I didn't have cheesy. So I bought a couple boxes of this, and I do have a case coming because I got a better deal on a case, but I got a couple boxes because they wanted some right away. And then this, I got 2 cases of the little cups that you, I think you put them in the microwave, but they would work by pouring boiling water on if it was an emergency. Because this, I think, was why they were thinking of cheesy rice-a-roni. I think I used to buy these when they were a little bit younger, just a quick, easy snack that they could make themselves. And so they wanted me to get these again. So I got a really good deal on these. And so I did order 2 cases because they'll go pretty quickly. Next, I got some Keystone meats as a turkey and a beef. These are really big cans. They're 28 ounces. This is really good canned meat. Something like this beef, it's like shredded beef, like roast beef. This is really, really good. The turkey is good. I've used a bunch of these in meals in a bag lately with the holidays coming up. So I wanted to replace. I try to grab a few of these whenever I get a chance because they're just really good quality meats. Good to have on hand if you want canned for things like meals in a bag or just making meals in an emergency. They're great to have. They do come in smaller cans if you're a smaller family and you wouldn't use that much in one sitting. And next I've got these. This is something, it's a little stand. I will put a picture on the screen so you know how it's supposed to work. It's a stand to hold a jar, a sprouting jar with a mesh lid because I have mesh lids, but I don't really have a good stand to put them in and I don't want to deal with a whole sprouting setup. I just wanted to use my jars and my lids. So I looked for and found these. They're supposed to hold, I think they go like this. Yeah, they must go like this. They have like a drip area that will contain any drips. And I'm really excited to try these out. Sprouting is a really good way to get some fresh greens and fresh sort of vegetable matter into your diet within a matter of just a few days. It can be done indoors, so it doesn't matter what season it is. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. So I think keeping some sprouting seeds and the supplies for sprouting them is a really good practice because if you can't get some fresh fruits and veggies from the store for whatever reason, you could probably make some sprouts and have at least a little bit of freshness in your diet. This right here is like a little set that has these little boxes that come open and they fit into this case, this little tray. And this, I use this for holding cords, for organizing charging cords. So we all have a lot of devices, phones, cell phones, tablets, whatever. And if you do have a lot of preparedness gear, you probably have a lot of flashlights and headlamps and radios and things that have charging cords. Maybe you just keep extra charging cords on hand for when you need them. So I have one of these and I just filled it up organizing. I will put it on the screen, but I filled it up. Actually, it has one empty spot right now because my daughter came and needed a charging cord, but all I have left to do is label it. But it was full, so I wanted to get another one because I have a few more cords to organize and we'll probably always be getting more. This one is for sort of larger cords, like a full-length long charging cord. I do have another set that has smaller boxes for much smaller cords, but this was the one that I got. Next, I got a few more of these seasonings. So these sound so delicious. I have not tried these yet, but onion, garlic, and herb. This one looks really, really good. And this one is a cheesy bacon and chive. I cannot wait to play with these and use these. I've gotten a lot of seasonings. These were not available in the US until recently. I've gotten a bunch. I think some of them are probably going to be going into gift baskets, so I'll probably be getting some more. My family does a lot of food gifts, and I think that's it, especially the way things are in the world right now. Groceries are so expensive. I think just about anybody could appreciate food gifts, and maybe you give them something special that they might not spend the money on for themselves. And maybe it just helps take a little bit of, the weight off of the food budget. Up here, I've got a few things. So these are 2 of those unrolling, roll up, roll out warming mat. I will pull these out and show you. They're 2 different sizes. So these don't really have much prepping use other than the fact that you can actually use these for starting seeds. So if you are having a garden and being self-sufficient, which is really important, these can be a help for that. But they're really meant for like holidays or big dinners where you can set your food out on the warming mats and keep it warm while you're serving and things like that. But what I love about these is that I got these both for free. So I am a big fan of any stores that have like refer a friend programs, anything like that, where they will give you store credit or even cash money sometimes for referring other people to the store or to buy the products or whatever. Because I've talked about this before. There's a lot of different places that have this, and I like to take advantage of it when I can. Because if you like a product or a store, you probably know other people who are like you, who would like the same product or the same store. So if you can actually get a little kickback for referring them, that can help so much. And this store is by far the most generous that I've ever seen with a referral program, because these are amazing, amazing gifts just for referring like maybe a couple of friends to the store. I got this amazing soft, really, really nice blanket also. So many amazing gifts, and they also give cash money for referral. So that's something to always look for. I always hear people talk about, they can't afford to stock up on things. They can't afford to buy certain things. They can't afford to prep. If you can find stores that have programs that will give you either store credit or cash for referring people, that can really help. And then back here, I've got I've got actually 4 cases of wide mouth quart jars. That's probably my most frequently used size. And I was running really low on them because I'm always using them for meals in a jar, also for canning, and also for dry goods storage, storing anything from, loose teas to powders. A lot of my powders that could get clumpy if they have any moisture or air get to them. I store a ton of things in wide mouth quart jars. I was low on them, and I honestly didn't intend to get 4 cases, but I went to order them from Walmart, and the price has gone up quite a bit. I was kind of surprised. But they did have a 4-pack available that gave a significantly lower price per case. So it did sting a little to buy 4 at once because I only intended to buy 2, but I would much rather pay less per case because I know I will use them. And I doubt the price. You never know, the price could go down, but most of the prices these days are going nowhere but up. So anytime you can save money and stock up on extra now, you're probably going to save down the road. Next, I've got this. This is a Dillylicious dill pickle dip mix. So this is a box with 2 packs of mix. We love dill pickle flavor anything, and we do like dill pickle dill dip. And this can also be used as like an ingredient in different dishes, like say a pasta salad, to give it like a dill pickle flavor in the dressing or something like that. Lots of different things you can use this for. And like I mentioned, a lot of these things are probably going to become gifts because my family loves to do food gifts, and it's just a really good thing to do. Here I've got a couple bottles of peanut sauce. So I love peanut sauce, and I love this brand. I have for a long, long time. I'm a big fan of pasta in the Prepper Pantry, and part of the reason is because there's lots of reasons, but there's so many different sauces that you can put on it that you can make many, many different meals. And peanut sauce is something you could put on pasta. I have it on pasta all the time. Hot pasta, cold pasta, like a pasta salad. But you can also, this is also a good condiment for chicken, for shrimp. It's good with stir fries and sauteed veggies and rice dishes, all sorts of stuff. So this one is a tad bit spicy, just a little spicy. But there's lots of different brands of peanut sauce. You can also make it yourself. It's pretty simple. I will sometimes make it if I'm doing like a batch for a recipe, but just for a condiment to have on hand, I usually buy this brand. And next I've got a couple of dipping oils. So there's a spicy pizza flavored dipping oil and a garlic Parmesan dipping oil. We love to have dipping oils for our bread and lots of other things. You could dip pizza crust, all kinds of things, but it can really transform and make a dinner special. But like I have a bread mix in a jar, for instance. It's just a simple sort of rustic crusty bread. It's very easy. It's emergency friendly. You can bake it up in your emergency oven. And just to have something like this to dip it in would totally transform it, make it so much more special. And if you don't have butter, because butter is not shelf stable, this is another thing to have. But like I said, these also make great gifts. And so these would be great in a food gift basket. So, and that is the type of thing that we really like to do as well. Over here, I've got a few things from Firehouse Flavors. I love this store. Everyone I've ever introduced to this store absolutely loves it. They have the most amazing powdered things, seasonings. I get a lot of their powders, powdered ingredients. I use them a lot in Meals in a Jar. So this one is a buffalo wing sauce powder. So powdered buffalo wing sauce, which I am planning on using in Meals in a Jar. But you can see it says you can also sprinkle it on popcorn, on nuts, on meat. You could do this on anything. You could put it into a buffalo chicken pasta salad. You could put it into a lot of different things. I am planning mostly for Meals in a Jar. And then this is a yeast extract powder. So this is basically like a natural flavor enhancer. It can add some really great sort of savoriness and umami sort of flavor to a lot of dishes. So I got this to help with a lot of sauces and stuff that mixes, things like that I'm doing. There's a lot of commercial things that if you're trying to copycat them, commercial places have access to some things that we don't, or they might use some ingredients that we might not want to use, even if we had access to it. So things like this can help you to get more of a better flavor with a more natural product. These are 1 pound bags. I will put the link to the store in the description below. You've got to check them out. I usually buy things in 1 pound bags a lot, and they have deals on those on Thursdays. So I always order on a Thursday because the deals and coupons that day are on 1 pound bags and spice jars, which are the 2 things I usually order. But another really cool thing about the store is they always send free samples when you order, and you can usually pick your own, but I think I forgot this time. But they are really good at putting in things that maybe you haven't tried before or new things. If you don't choose, they will send them anyways. So they sent me apple cider vinegar powder. Love this. I do use this a lot. Worcestershire sauce powder. These are great for Meals in a Jar. Granulated jalapeno, so dried like diced jalapeno, really good seasoning. Chicken soup base, so it's basically like a bouillon, chicken bouillon. And then this is apple powder. I don't think I even realized they had apple powder, so that is really cool. So love the free samples. And then they also usually include a free gift, like a chapstick. I think I usually get a chapstick. I absolutely love this store, and I think you will too. Here's another powdered ingredient. This is Judy's. I like this brand. I have a lot of Judy's stuff, and I like it. This is blue cheese powder. So this is going to kind of go along with the buffalo sauce powder to use in Meals in a Jar. Sauce mixes. A lot of times in a cheese sauce mix or powder, you will see some blue cheese powder just because it has a really sharp and strong flavor. So it can really help make your sauce or your dish more flavorful. You may not even taste the blue cheese. I'll tell you what, I thought blue cheese is already moldy. It can't possibly get any moldier. Well, I'll tell you what, I was wrong. It definitely can get moldy in your fridge. So I recently discovered freeze-dried blue cheese, and now I got this blue cheese powder, and I think, this is much more shelf stable. It's good to have on hand for emergencies and Meals in a Jar, but even to give that flavor to dressings or to salads, without having to have the fresh cheese on hand, which can go bad. Something like this blue cheese powder or freeze-dried blue cheese are the way to go. And this is a keto-friendly ingredient made in the USA. Up here, I've got these protein puffs. So these are like another low-carb snack, pretty low-carb, high protein. My sister got me some type of protein puffs once for a birthday gift, and I think they've been discontinued. I love them, but I cannot find them anymore. So I found these. I will have a link to the store where I got these. I think they're available at multiple stores, but I really like to get these at, it's called VitaCost. I think I'll put a link down below. They have coupons all the time. They have good prices, especially when you factor in the coupon. These are I was reading the reviews. The balls are much smaller than you would imagine them to be. They're not big like a cheese puff. But I think that's actually a good thing because I have small snack containers that I like to put small snacks in, so bulky things won't fit. It says that these are 2 servings, but I tell you what, I definitely would not eat a bag of this in 2 sittings. This would stretch out into a lot more for me. So it's definitely important to have snacks in your prepper pantry as well. So, something that works with your dietary needs and your way of eating is important. So I am excited to try these. And then one more thing right here. This is a calzone set. Now I actually got this, it's not really emergency related, I guess, but it's cooking related. And I actually got this from the same place where I got the emergency whistle and all of that stuff on clearance. So this was on clearance. I have some other sets like this somewhere, but they are really, really old. And so they are starting to break. And these are like calzone makers, but I always think of them as pierogi makers. But this is a really big one that you could use for like a calzone. And then they've got 4 and they're graduated. But the thing that I really liked when this came was this one is so teeny. I don't think I've ever had one this teeny before. So teeny. So that was really cool. Now this, you would use this side of it to cut out your dough. And then you put the dough in here, you put your filling in, you fold it over and crimp it. And you can make calzones, pierogi, dumplings, wontons or whatever, hand pies, all sorts of different things you can make with these. So I love things like this. So here I talked about these in my last haul because I got some wool dryer balls that were regular. But these are the ones that have a silicone sort of web around them to, I think, kind of to protect your clothes, maybe from the wool like sticking to your clothes. But a big reason why I wanted to get these is because I did want to try adding a drop of essential oil to the dryer balls because it's a much more natural way to add scent to your laundry. There's a lot of toxins in a lot of the scented products that we use, and I love scents. And so that made me really sad when I learned that. And I just was afraid of the oil getting into my clothing and my fabric. I don't know if that would happen, but I just thought something like this would be a little more protective if you put the drop of oil down in and it has the silicone around it. So I don't know. I thought I would try these. Using dryer balls actually can help your laundry dry faster because of the motion of it tossing the laundry around, and it can help it be more soft and static free and stuff without having to use fabric softeners, which can have a lot of toxic chemicals in them. And speaking of fabric softeners, these are a couple that I have started using that because they do not have a lot of the toxic chemicals that some of the more commercial brands have. And the other thing I love about these is that these are 9 times concentrated. So these bottles are not particularly big, you can see, but they actually use a pump to dispense them, or you can put it in a cup, but the pump is easiest. It's 1/3 of an ounce or 10 mils is all you need. So these tiny bottles last a really long time. I use the detergent and the fabric softener is the same. I love that they're concentrated, so I'm not storing a lot of extra water because there's going to be water in my laundry machine anyway. So I just get to use a tiny amount of this. I like to use the pump because otherwise I tend to just fill my dispenser anyways, and that would be way too much because you need such a small amount of this. Now, don't go looking for these on like Amazon or something. Like I said, I have links for everything down below. I get these from the wellness store that I'm a member of. I've had people say, I can't believe you pay $60 for your laundry detergent because they try to look on Amazon or something like that. And that's all scalpers. It's people who buy it and try to sell it for a lot more money to people who are looking for it because they don't know about the store. They don't know about the membership. They don't know how to get one. It's super easy. So if you want to check it out, you got to check it out from the right source because it is obviously not $60. Like I usually get a 2-pack because it is cheaper that way. And then every so often I will have coupons in my account. And so I usually grab it when there's coupons and stuff. So I always buy stuff at the lowest price I possibly can and stock up when it's at the lowest price. Up here, I have got a bunch of Sleepy Time tea. So we like to try to keep it natural with a lot of stuff if we can. And so sometimes when somebody in the house is having a hard time falling asleep, they like to have some Sleepy Time tea. And I had never seen, this was the 6 that I'm showing on the bottom, were a multi-pack. So they came together and there's like 6 different varieties. I had no idea there were that many varieties. I think I'd only ever had the regular Sleepy Time, but this one up top is Sleepy Time Extra. So it has valerian root. So it's supposed to really, I think, knock you out a little bit more. I'm a little bit afraid of this one. I don't know. I probably won't take it. I don't have trouble sleeping, but I just thought it would be interesting to try. So we'll look into that a little bit. And then down here, I've got some more pouches of these, which I found at Dollar Tree. Now, I did feature these in my Dollar Tree new products haul a little while ago. These are pretty new to Dollar Tree. They're really pretty cool. I did taste test them on that video, and they're pretty decent for what they are. I liked the tomato basil best, and the rest of my family seemed to like the Alfredo best, so I got some of each. It's cooked pasta. It already has the sauce in it, so all you have to do is heat them up. They are made for the microwave, but You know, if you were in an emergency, you could dump them in a pan, do it on your emergency stove. You could eat these just out of the pouch at room temperature. If you were in a dire emergency, in fact, you could probably warm them up in that warming pouch that I had. Another thing here, I have gotten these before. I will link to them down below. I actually ordered them from Walmart. They don't have them at my store. These were pretty good. I was surprised. This one is a spaghetti with like a red sauce, and you just pour in boiling water and let it sit, and it actually came out pretty decent. So for an emergency meal to have on hand, I think this is really good. So I got a couple more. My son loves spaghetti, so this would be a good thing for him to have. This could even go on a hike or a camping trip or something like that. Then I've got a case of this. I know a lot of people are not doing Campbell's right now, but this is the beef consomme, and I have a recipe that calls for it, and I don't really know how to make it, and I don't know of any other brand that has it. So I grabbed a case of this because this was the cheapest price per can to buy it by the case. And then back here, I've got a case of MREs. So this is the B menu. So MREs, usually each case has a different selection of meals. MREs, I think, are good to have on hand for emergencies because they are a complete meal ready to eat. Obviously, that's what that stands for, meaning they don't need water added. Everything you need is there. And they actually have their own heater included in the pack, so you can heat the meal with the little heat pack. I have definitely heard from some people who have been really glad to have these on hand, you know, after a hurricane, after some sort of a disaster, when they were just trying to get their bearings about them. They just needed something easy, warm, and comforting, and these came in handy. So I have thought about doing like a taste test of MREs because people really like when I do taste tests. They like to see and experience something and hear my opinion of it before they go spend their own money on it. So people really like the taste tests. I'm kind of not sure if it would be kind of insensitive or disrespectful to do a taste test of MREs because there are people in our armed forces, obviously, who eat these because they have to eat them and they don't have a choice probably. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Would you like to see a taste test on this? And what do you think about that whole thing? And then the last thing I have up here is just this is a little treat bag or gift bag that Walmart, if you do Walmart pickup for like your groceries or for anything, every so often they will give these free little bags of free samples, which I think is awesome. I think it's a good reason to use Walmart pickup if you don't already, because you get some cool stuff you get to try and it's free. So let's see what's in this one. This is an Aveeno Skin Relief Healing Ointment, so a free sample, which would actually also be really handy to stick in a bug out bag or, anywhere like that. Next, there's this Ritter Sport German chocolate little sample. Another good thing to stick anywhere. Some kind of perfume, I think. A little sample of a perfume. Interesting. I've never seen that before. Here is a sample of Cascade Platinum Plus. You get, I don't know, probably 1 or 2 pods. I can't see how many, but it also comes with a coupon because a lot of the time you think it's a coupon, but it's not. So this one comes with a coupon. And then this is what is this? Like a card game? I think this is a whole card game. That's really cool. They gave me a card game, a complete card game. This would be great to keep in like a 72-hour kit. Have something to keep people busy while the power's out. This would make a great gift or stocking stuffer. And a liquid IV pouch, which these are really expensive. So I always like when we get these. These are another great thing you can stick in a bug out bag or a first aid kit or anywhere. So it's really cool to get a packet of this for free. And that is it. But also this nice little bag. It's like a small mini shopping bag. So anyways, I love doing Walmart pickup. It saves me time and saves me hassle and keeps me from randomly wandering the store and picking up things I don't need. And they give me free stuff sometimes. Now let's test and taste some of these new products. I definitely want to test out these high protein ramen noodle cups. I'm going to put some water on so I can get this ready. And while the water's heating and the noodles are setting, I'm going to taste test a few of these freeze-dried items. Starting with the cheddar cheese cubes, and I also want to taste the chocolate drizzled strawberries and the cream puffs. And I think I'm going to do them in that order so they get progressively sweeter because otherwise it might kind of affect my taste. I have tried freeze-dried cheddar cheese cubes before. Of course, I have freeze-dried shredded cheese all the time. But Thrive Life used to have cheese snackies. They had cubes like this, and I loved them, and they discontinued them, and they never brought them back. So I was really excited to find these because I love cheese and I really like low carb, high protein snacks. And when they're shelf stable, that is a bonus. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. The one thing that I was going to say though about the cheese cubes is that when I first tried them, it wasn't what I expected because like if you try freeze dried fruit or vegetable, they're usually really light and airy, almost like styrofoam. So I kind of pictured this being like a cheese curl. These are usually a little more dense because there's not as much liquid and it's not as much water in a cheese cube as there is in a piece of fruit or vegetable. So, but they're not super dense. These are not super dense, but so, so good. Oh, I love these. I'm super, super happy. And this is a really nice size little pouch that I could just stick this whole pouch in my purse. I would not eat the whole pouch. It says 2 servings per pouch, but I would probably make this into a lot more servings, but so good. I think they have other flavors too. Next, I'm going to try the chocolate drizzled strawberries. I'm really excited about these. I actually have a friend who ordered these and got them before I did and tried them and said they were amazing. So I'm hoping I like them too. Ooh, here's a good chunk stuck together. These actually feel really nice. They smell so good. Let's see. Wow. Those are really, really super tasty. The strawberries are really nice and airy. The chocolate is delicious. I'm thinking they drizzled the chocolate after the strawberries were freeze-dried because chocolate doesn't freeze-dry very well. It doesn't really freeze-dry at all, but it just kind of melts. So that is really, really, really good. I wish I had gotten more of those. And now, cream puffs, which I love cream puffs when they're not freeze-dried. So I'm hoping I'm going to love them freeze-dried. So here it is. It just looks like a cream puff, but it is all dry. So I don't know if this is a 1-bite snack or if I should bite into it. We'll see. Oh, wow. That is really good. Super, super tasty. Oh, that could have been a 1-bite snack. Like it's not hard at all. That is very light and airy. That's delicious. Oh, that's really good. I try not to eat sweets, but that's going to be irresistible. All right, I've got a little more time while my water's heating up, so I'm going to try out the protein puffs, which I actually got a lot of different flavors. I think I got every flavor they had. Barbecue, sour cream and onion, jalapeno cheddar, and nacho cheese. I think I'm going to try the barbecue first, though. All right, so here is what they look like. You can see they are smaller balls. So this is the size of the bag. So here is the little size of the ball. So almost like the size of a peanut. Which they're slightly less crunchy or harder. They're crunchy. Slightly more dense maybe than like a cheese curl or a cheese puff. But they're still nice and crispy, crunchy, nice and airy. And I like the flavor. Nothing wrong with these. And only 4 grams of carbs in the whole bag. And like I said, I would not, this would be more than 2 servings for me. If you need low carb, high protein snacks that are just shelf stable and easy to carry around with you, I think this would be worth a try. And 21 grams of protein per serving. So 42 grams in the whole bag with only 4 carbs in the whole bag. That's incredible. All right, so my water is hot. I've got, oh, so that looks a little bit different inside, I feel like, than a typical ramen cup. And just mostly that the powder's at the top. I don't know, I feel like it looks different. Now this does give instructions for both microwave or boiling water, which I'm going to use the boiling water because that's how I usually make a noodle cup. And that's much more emergency friendly as well. So I'm thinking it gives the microwave instructions. I'm thinking, I can't tell, but I'm thinking this cup is more of a paper than like a styrofoam. So a lot of people would like that because I think the other ones, the plain ones that aren't high protein, are styrofoam. All right, so it smells a little different, that's for sure. It already smells a little different than the typical one. So I'm going to let this set. and I'll see you back here when it's ready to eat. Okay, let's see. This definitely has a different smell to it than a regular ramen. I would like to compare the nutritional information and see if this one has less sodium and things like that. I guess I'll taste it first. Actually, this is one thing. Sometimes with a ramen cup like that, I will actually add a little bit of peanut sauce to give it just a little bit more flair, even if I'm not adding extra veggies or anything. I do not eat things like this often, but every once in a while, especially if I'm feeling not that great, like if I have a cold for some reason, I like to eat things like this. Okay, got my ramen. The noodles kind of look a little different to me. They honestly look a little squishier, but maybe it's just my imagination. It definitely tastes different. I do think it's not as salty. It doesn't taste bad, though. It tastes... Let's try it again. Tastes pretty good. It's just a little different than your typical ramen, but it does not taste bad. Let me taste just the broth. This tastes good. I'm going to check the nutrition between the two. All right, so I've got a regular chicken ramen, instant ramen here. And I've got my high protein one. So I am actually shocked to see that the sodium, look at this, in the high protein one here, it is 1,480 milligrams. And it's only 1150 in the regular one. This tasted less salty to me. I am shocked. Although there's a little bit less food, 64 grams in that one compared to this one. So maybe it's about equal. Maybe that accounts for it. Slightly less carbs in the high protein one. And yes, 10 more grams of protein, a lot more potassium, more calcium, and more iron, but also more sodium, which shocks the heck out of me. I will also say that if the extra protein in this is due to actual bone broth for real, then you would obviously have to drink the broth to be getting and taking advantage of that protein. If it's due to like these little fake chicken bits, then you would have to make sure you ate all the little bits. I don't know about you, but a lot of people I know, I feel like they leave the juice and some of the little, vegetable bits and meat bits in the cup. So I would say if you're going to pay extra for the high protein one, you would want to make sure that you eat everything and drink everything to make sure that you're getting all of the extra protein you paid for. The next thing I'm going to make up and test out for you is these low-carb, high-protein brownies. All right, so this says 1 1/3 cups of mix, 2 eggs, 6 tablespoons of melted butter, and 1/4 cup of water. And I had actually been thinking about trying to make cookies out of this, and I just noticed it actually has instructions for cookies right here. So cutting down the eggs, not melting the butter, and not adding the water. So I'm going to have to try that one of these days too. All right, so I've got my mixing bowl here. I've got my ingredients ready. I'm going to start with my eggs. Now, I always break my eggs out into a prep bowl before I put them in my recipe. I really like to do this because in case I get a little piece of shell in here, it's a lot easier to fish out than it is out of my whole recipe. Also, we have our own chickens and ducks, so if we are using our own eggs, just in case an egg kind of got missed and has been sitting around longer than we thought it was when we gathered it. So I'm just going to give these a little mix and get these beaten up in here. And I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/4 cup of water. I like to use a mini measuring cup for small amounts. It just makes it more accurate. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my 1 1/3 cups of mix and my melted butter, which I went ahead and melted ahead of time in another prep bowl. Now, for the sake of being more emergency friendly, I do have canned butter, but I did want to try this out with some oil instead of the melted butter and see if that works out just fine. Just for another option, if I didn't happen to have butter, I do have plenty of ways that I could bake in an emergency. We have, ovens that work without electricity, and there's lots of ways to bake without power. Actually, with Girl Scouts, we used to bake muffins in paper cups in a pan, in a pot with, a little bit of simmering water, and that worked really well. All right, so I've got this all mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and put it into my pans. All right, now I think this is a mini brownie pan. So this is meant for small ovens, like it's meant for a toaster oven, which I love having, you know, bakingware that's good for a toaster oven, because sometimes I've been without an oven in the past, and that kind of made me realize how convenient it can be to cook in a smaller oven and save electricity. And so I think this is the perfect size pan. Even though I'm baking this in my regular oven today, I think this is the perfect size for this size of a batch. I'm going to use a scoop to make sure that it's getting portioned pretty correctly, and just go ahead and scoop this into here. I do have one more of these brownie mini or small oven brownie pans if this is a little bit too small. I've almost used up all the mix. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more to some of these cups and get them ready to go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and even those out. I'm going to go stick these in the oven, and I'll see you back here when they're done. All right, so that was 15 minutes, and these look done to me. They're set. I had to adjust my baking time for these because they're in my brownie pan, so they're baking individually, so they bake a little more quickly than they would in just one square pan. So I'm going to let these cool and then give them a try. All right, let's see if we can get these out of here. They're cool enough. This pan has a really nice nonstick coating, but it doesn't have any of the bad chemicals that some of the nonstick coatings have. So this is a more non-toxic nonstick coating, and I really like it. All right, I am ready to try the brownie. I think these are really, really tasty. I don't notice any kind of aftertaste. They are moist and chocolatey. They don't have, a lot of times sugar-free or low-carb sweet treats to me have kind of like an empty taste. They just aren't satisfying. This is totally not like that. It's rich and sweet, but not too sweet. And I don't notice any kind of weird or funny aftertaste. Really, really good. And I feel like this is going to open up so many doors for me with the desserts and sweet treats where I try to avoid sugar and carbs. Sugar, like low-carb ice cream, sugar-free whipped cream, brownie sundaes, things that I love and don't really get to eat anymore. Super good. And Mr. Wicked Prepared is a dessert lover who's actually not really accustomed to eating low-carb treats like I am, and he actually likes these too. And for myself, I find that typically 1/2 of this is satisfying enough. I don't even really need to have the whole brownie. So super, super good. I hope you saw or heard something helpful today. Maybe got some inspiration or a new wave of resolve to help you in your preparedness. It's a journey that never ends. We never know what's around the corner, and it's usually what we least expect when we least expect it. Being carefully and thoughtfully prepared can make all the difference. Don't forget to check out down below the video if there's anything that you saw or heard today that you'd like to learn more about. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a Christmas tree emoji down in the comments and check out this video next for some more prepping info you need right now. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.